Hi guys, Brian Silvestry here, licensed real estate broker in New York City. Entering my third decade of doing business in New York City, and just want to talk to you today about the first step that you need to do when you are buying New York City property. The very first step is pre-approval. Is basically this bank's stamp on your ability to get financing. So in this step, it'll save you a lot of time, and you can do a bunch of really important things. One is the lender can figure out how much your monthly payment would be, and based upon your income, they can tell you how much you would qualify for. So that's a really important first step. Most of my clients, they don't worry so much about how much the mortgage is, but they're buying a certain monthly payment. If you're paying $3,000 a month in rent, chances are you want to, $3,000 or $3,500 or whatever your range of comfort is. That's where you're going to want to be. So let's say you want that $4,000 monthly payment. The banker will help you to subtract out the monthly charges and then figure out, based upon the current interest rates, how much that translates to. And then therefore you can add your down payment that you have available, and now you know what price range to look in. So just like the same way you know your size for a t-shirt or a suit, so you know what size to get, it's the same idea with a pre-approval. Also, what the pre-approval can do, it may be that you have more than enough income and you may qualify for an even higher amount. But by understanding what the monthly payments will be, you may decide that you don't want to go above that number. So what does a bank do to figure out your qualifications? Okay, credit is a big thing. So that's another reason to get ahead in the game, start early, get your pre-approval, because they'll run your credit. So if there's any issues, a little while ago, a bunch of months back, a person who was trying to buy came to me and they said, my dad taught me to never borrow. So I don't have hardly I have no credit cards. I have a cell phone. I have barely anything in my name as far as credit. That's great in terms of zero debt, but it's not good for having credit. Okay. Also, I had a friend that said to me, I want to go ahead and buy this new car. Or I had another client that said, I'm thinking about this nice home by the lake. And I said, nope, stop. Don't do that right now. It's a little bit of an advanced tip, but hold off on buying that second home. Hold off on buying that new car. Because what the bank does is they'll take your monthly income. So let's say you have $10,000 in monthly income. They're going to figure out, assuming you have no student loans, no car payment, no second home mortgages. So they're going to take whatever your proposed monthly payment would be, which will include the mortgage. It will also include real estate taxes and either common charges if it's a condo, or it would be maintenance if it's a co-op, and insurance if it were a house. And they're going to, let's say they say your monthly payment all in $4,000. You make 10 grand a month. They're going to divide the $4,000 by the $10,000, and so they're going to come up with a number. That number in this case is 40%. So 40% is what they call your debt to income. So depending on when you're looking at this video and what lender you're working with, different banks have different debt to incomes that they allow. Some will go up to 50% as of today in 2021. Some will be much more conservative. It all depends, and it's a complete financial picture. So get the pre-approval, and then you'll be able to figure out the monthly payment. You'll be able to figure out what you qualify for, and you'll know what properties to look for, what price range. Now, let's say you didn't do it, and then you go out and you just start looking at property. You'd be surprised. I have people very often. 3 months ago, someone walked in. We went to one property. They fell in love with it. They wanted to buy it. They had all their pre-approval and all their paperwork in order. We submitted an offer that day. Now, if they didn't have a pre-approval and they needed to go and get it, it could end up taking a couple days, couple weeks. And then if the market is moving fairly quickly in the favor of sellers, the property won't last. Another advanced tip, okay, so we said number one is put off those extra purchases that are going to add more debt, because they're going to add your monthly installment debt on top of your proposed payment. So if the bank wants you to be in a 40% ratio and you have 10 grand in income and you have no debt, no installment debt, $4,000 would be the number that they would allow for your housing payment. If you have a $500 car payment, a $500 second mortgage, Now that $4,000 is going to be reduced to $3,000. Now you have the ability to buy less expensive. Last advanced tip I'll give you is that not all pre-approvals are equal. So you have a pre-qualification, you have a pre-approval, and you have a pre-commitment. Okay. Pre-qualification, I can call up a lender and basically say to them, I make this much money, and they'll run my credit, and they'll write me a letter saying that based upon the information that I gave to them, that I'm pre-qualified. Pre-approval, they're actually going to say, send me your tax return, send me your information, and they'll run your credit, and they'll say, based upon the information we reviewed, you are pre-approved. A pre-commitment is even better because it means everything is done. All you need is the property, and you need basically an appraisal, and that's it. So that will save you tons of time on the back end in terms of getting more documents together. So if you have more time on the front end, go ahead and get even a pre-commitment. Okay, if you're in a rush, a pre-qualification or pre-approval could do the trick as well. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to like this and subscribe to our content because I'm going to be sharing all I've learned in 3 decades of real estate with you. And there's a lot of stuff, a lot of mistakes that I made. I'm going to be sharing it all with you. So hopefully it will benefit and you won't have to make any of the same mistakes. All right, take care. Thank you guys.